If you're frustrated because your business has plateaued, or maybe you just want to avoid that at all costs anyway, I want to share a framework that I use to make sure that my business continues to grow as I do. It's something called the 3 levels of reach. Now, this isn't something you just review once. It's something that I've reviewed several times over the years. It also shows me what adjustments I need to make so that I can prevent future problems before they even arise. Now, after I break this down, I'll share one piece of vital information on how people get this wrong, because it can be a little confusing the first time you go through this. So be sure and stay all the way to the end. So let's jump right in. Now, as a leader, there's 3 levels that we have to constantly be reaching, especially if you own a business. Now, the first level is down. And what I mean by that is we're reaching down to help people, bringing them to our current level of growth. By reaching down, I don't mean that there's other people out there who are less than, because we all have the same level of worth. I mean to somebody who's on a lower level of growth. And let's think about this too, because there's some people who reach down to us because they want to help lift us up to their level. And really, this is what business and leadership is all about. Now, most of the time, people don't have a problem with reaching down. It's something that comes natural, especially if you've ever heard of servant leadership. The problem, though, is when we spend 95 to 97% of our time reaching down. You've heard this quote before, that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. What happens when you're spending the most time with the people that you are trying to lift up? Well, unfortunately, our level of growth gets pulled in their direction. And it's not the best way to serve them, even though as leaders, we do have to constantly be reaching down, just not 95% of the time. That's why there's 2 other levels of reach. The second level is to reach out to people who are at similar level of growth than you. This is when we can share ideas with people, talk about struggles that we're going through, and use each other's strengths to help combat each other's weaknesses. Now, this is what I would term as your community. What I see some entrepreneurs do is they think the community is the people that they're reaching down to. That is just not the case. Now, most people stop here, and that's what will truly hold you back. But there's a third level of reach that I want to talk about. And of course, if you're getting value from this video, definitely hit the like button and subscribe for future videos. The third level is reaching up. This is to somebody that's a few steps ahead of you, a mentor, a coach, a guide, somebody who's been there before, who can tell you which path to go on and which ones to stay off of. Now, mentors are somebody who are going to stretch you to grow. They're going to help you raise your expectations of yourself because they know there's more left in the tank. Reaching up also gives you a great opportunity to grab onto the coattails of the belief of the person that you're following. Sometimes we don't necessarily believe in ourselves as much as they do. And when you have a good mentor, you can actually ride on their coattails until you can fully believe in yourself. Now, before I share the one way that people can actually get this wrong, I do want to give you a real life example. Let's say you want to grow your business. So you must reach down so that you can lift some people up to your level of growth. This is using your experiences, maybe even your coaching ability, to really help them get through something that maybe you've even gone through yourself. Then you have to make sure you're reaching out. You're reaching out to a group or a tribe that want it just as bad as you do and have different strengths and weaknesses, but will hold you accountable to doing what you said you were going to do. This is also a great place where when you're having struggles, you can talk with them so they can help you work it out. It's never a great idea to bring your struggles to the people you're reaching down to. Lastly, you'd want to have a mentor that's a few steps ahead of you. Somebody who's been down that path before, who can give you the direction that you need. This is how you avoid plateauing and continuing to grow in your business. Now, as you continue to level up as a business owner and as a leader, you have to make sure you continue to evaluate these 3 levels of reach because they're going to change. Because as you grow, you're going to want to keep growing the people that you're surrounding yourself with and the person who's your mentor. It's just a natural part of the process. You're going to outgrow certain people. This is just a normal thing. But I do want you to avoid one thing at all costs, because this can actually keep you stuck for the long term. I want to give you an example. Let's say you're struggling with managing your time, or maybe even being consistent. Make sure that the people that you're reaching out to aren't struggling with the exact same thing as you. I've heard plenty of business owners searching for accountability, only to find another group of people who's struggling with the same exact thing that you are. That is not helpful on any level because nobody has the answers, and mostly there's a lot of spinning around in circles because it's something that everybody is equally struggling with. Instead, make sure you find people who have strengths in areas that you have weaknesses and vice versa. Now, you might get to this point after learning about the 3 levels of reach and wonder, that's great, Mark, but what do I actually do to have success in my business? Don't worry, I got you covered. Tap the screen to check out this next video, which I talked about the universal answer to how. But do not forget the 3 levels of reach. They are vitally important as you go through your growth process for your leadership and for your business. I appreciate you for what you do out there every single day, and keep leading from the front, leader. Bye.